Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Steffy makes Finn reconsider. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, his wife might as well be the one person he should seek assistance from on this issue. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy converts Finn's attitude. Naturally, we are referring to Finn because on the most recent episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy will give him the exact message he needs to hear, namely, that he is unable to assist his daughter, Luna. Finn recently discovered that Luna is, in fact, his biological daughter, a fact that his alleged aunt, Poppy, had concealed from him for the past 20 years. It's been difficult for him to comprehend that concept. She doesn't want anything to do with this new stepdaughter of hers, which is understandable given that this is the same Luna who abducted and attempted to kill his wife Steffy. For this reason, Steffy informed Finn on The Bold and the Beautiful that she would never be able to save Luna, no matter how hard she tried. Ultimately, this is the same woman that murdered Hollis and Tom the previous year. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, what will happen to Finn next? Even if Finn wants to act morally, it doesn't seem like he has much of a say in the matter. Everyone is aware of Luna's mental instability. Steffy is aware that she is unreliable and that there is no way to predict what she will do if she is permitted inside their family home. At night, everyone will need to lock their doors. It remains to be seen if Steffy is able to persuade Finn to change his mind, but we have a suspicion that it will be extremely difficult. Lee has Poppy in a chokehold. We take it literally when we say that she is taking issues into her own hands. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee chokes Poppy. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, we are obviously discussing Lee because, in the most recent teaser for the program, she practically chokes her sister Poppy. Indeed, the two women's situation is about to grow really unpleasant. It's unclear if Lee will truly attempt to kill her sister for everything she has done, including having an affair with her son Finn, but we have a suspicion that she will come very near to succeeding in this endeavor. However, B&B aficionados ought to have anticipated this. Lee had a motive for wanting Poppy to lead this made-up town of Los Angeles as soon as she arrived. Naturally, there was a lot of discussion about this plotline on the internet. Some even said, "I don't blame Lee at all." Steffy is correct, too. What the devil, Bill? You put lunatic's safety ahead of your grandchild's mother's. Make sense of that. Poppy's hair appeals to me. When your sister threatens to kill you for having a relationship and a child with her son, your nephew, it's crucial to remain focused. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, what will Lee do next? The highlight of this preview is Lee versus Poppy, another critic commented. I don't want to hear Steffy's incessant screams, see anything about the Ridgeanderthal era, or hear Brooke continue to try to assist Ridgeanderthal. Additionally, this comment was made, Lee is a doctor, she knows where to strike and where to attack for the best return on investment. I'm hoping this isn't some dumb female altercation where Poppy leaves the room. In a week marked by explosive emotions and seismic shifts within the Forrester empire, a series of dramatic confrontations has reshaped the internal dynamics of one of television's most storied families, as Lee finally reaches her boiling point and confronts Poppy in a public, no-holds-barred showdown while, in a parallel vein, Steffy, whose reputation as a fierce, uncompromising guardian of family honor has been both revered and reviled, lashes out at Bill in an equally charged display of raw anger and betrayal. The events unfold amid a swirling backdrop of high-stakes corporate maneuvering, personal vendettas, and secrets that have been allowed to fester beneath the glimmering surface of Forrester Creations, where every whispered rumor and every carefully concealed agenda now threatens to explode into a maelstrom of chaos and uncertainty, with Lee's confrontation with Poppy acting as the catalyst that forces long-standing grievances and hidden resentments into the harsh light of day. Lee, who has long harbored deep-seated feelings of injustice and disillusionment over what she perceives as Poppy's repeated manipulations and betrayals, finally loses control during a tense moment in one of the family's opulent meeting rooms, where the atmosphere is already thick with anticipation and unspoken accusations. Her physical reaction is immediate and visceral, as her normally composed demeanor shatters under the weight of years of pent-up frustration, causing her to speak in a voice trembling with a mix of fury and sorrow as she accuses Poppy of undermining the trust and integrity that once bound the family together, of betraying not only the personal bonds that have been cultivated over decades but also the very principles upon which the Forrester legacy was built, and as she hurls her damning words, each syllable seems to echo with the collective pain of countless past transgressions, reverberating off the marble walls and sending shockwaves through everyone present. At the same time, in a separate yet equally dramatic confrontation that underscores the pervasive sense of betrayal and shifting allegiances within the family, Steffy, who has been grappling with the crumbling facade of her carefully managed world, turns her simmering anger toward Bill, a man who, for years, has been a pivotal figure in the complex web of relationships that sustain the Forrester dynasty, and unleashes a torrent of scathing rebukes that reveal not only her own vulnerability and wounded pride but also her deep-seated frustration with Bill's perceived complacency and complicity in the very schemes that have eroded the family's cohesion. In a moment that seems to crystallize the mounting pressure and the inevitable collision of personal loyalties with corporate ambition, Steffy's face contorts with a fierce intensity as she demands answers, accusing Bill of allowing the very forces of corruption and betrayal to infiltrate their inner circle, of failing to uphold the sacred trust that has been the foundation of the Forrester name, and warning him that if he does not take immediate action to rectify the situation, the fallout will be catastrophic, not only for their personal relationships but for the stability of the entire empire that they have all fought so hard to preserve. The dual confrontations, though separated by space and individual motivations, are intrinsically linked by the common thread of shattered trust and the relentless pursuit of accountability in a world where every secret is a potential explosive, and as Lee and Steffy, each in her own distinctive style, lay bare the myriad betrayals that have accumulated over time, the atmosphere becomes charged with an almost tangible electricity, one that underscores the fact that the days of quiet, calculated diplomacy are over, replaced instead by a raw, unfiltered exchange of emotions that leaves no room for pretension or ambiguity. Lee's outburst against Poppy is not merely a personal vendetta but a symbolic rejection of a leadership style that has allowed manipulation and subterfuge to dictate the course of the family's legacy, while Steffy's searing diatribe against Bill serves as both a personal catharsis and a clarion call to all members of the Forrester clan that the time for complacency has passed and that every individual must now bear the full weight of their responsibilities. As the confrontations escalate, whispers of past scandals and old wounds mix with the charged proclamations of the day, leaving boardroom conversations and private discussions alike fraught with tension and uncertainty about the future. Every glance exchanged in the aftermath, every silenced breath, seems to underscore the profound impact these events will have on the delicate fabric of alliances that have long defined Forrester creations. And as the dust begins to settle on a week that has redefined the emotional landscape of the family, it becomes increasingly apparent that these explosive moments are not isolated incidents but part of a larger, inexorable shift in the balance of power, one that challenges the old order and forces every member of the family to confront the painful realities of loyalty, betrayal, and the unyielding consequences of long-held secrets. Lee's physical reaction, raw and unmediated, is a testament to the human cost of a life spent hiding behind a veneer of politeness and strategic restraint, a final, desperate cry that echoes the sentiment of a generation tired of the status quo and ready to embrace the truth, however brutal it may be. While Steffy's face-off with Bill, delivered with a mix of regal authority and personal anguish, signals a turning point in her personal journey, one where she must choose between clinging to a familiar past that no longer serves her and stepping into a future defined by hard-won independence and the uncompromising pursuit of justice. Together, these events create a potent narrative that not only encapsulates the essence of the bold and the beautiful signature blend of personal drama and corporate intrigue but also serves as a microcosm of the eternal struggle between appearance and reality, where every act of defiance is a step toward reclaiming one's identity and every outburst, whether physical or verbal, is a reminder that in the unforgiving world of Forrester creations, the truth, no matter how long it is suppressed, will eventually find its way to the surface, leaving behind an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those who dare to challenge the forces of corruption and complacency. And as the week of March 10th to 14th comes to a close, the echoes of Lee's uncontrolled physical reaction and Steffy's unyielding face-off reverberate through the halls of the mansion, a haunting reminder that the legacy of the Forrester dynasty is not built on the polished veneer of perfection but on the raw, often painful reality of human emotion, where every secret, every betrayal, and every act of defiance is a building block in the ever-evolving story of power, passion, and redemption, a story that continues to captivate audiences with its unflinching portrayal of the complexities of love, loss, and the relentless pursuit of truth in a world where nothing is ever as it seems, and where the courage to confront one's inner demons can ultimately pave the way for a new beginning, even if that beginning is born out of chaos, conflict, and the undeniable need to break free from the chains of a past that has too long held sway over the future. March 10th to 14th of The Bold and the Beautiful reveals a dramatic and heart-stopping sequence in which Lee, whose long-suppressed fury and wounded pride have been building behind a carefully maintained facade, finally learns the shocking truth about the clandestine ties between Poppy and Finn, and, unable to contain her rage and disbelief any longer, launches into a physical and verbal assault on Poppy that reverberates through every corner of the Forrester household, setting off a chain reaction of revelations and ruptures that threaten to upend alliances, shatter reputations, and forever alter the course of the family legacy. The preview shows Lee storming into a tense, charged meeting where, after enduring years of subtle betrayals and carefully hidden secrets that have been meticulously orchestrated by Poppy to protect the darker underpinnings of the family empire, she discovers, almost by accident, evidence that ties Finn's actions directly to Poppy's manipulative machinations, a truth that had been buried under layers of deceit and corporate double-dealings, and which now crashes into her consciousness like a tidal wave of betrayal, forcing her to confront a reality she had long suspected but never fully believed, that Poppy, the once respected matriarch known for her diplomatic composure and unassailable control over the family's inner circle, has been colluding with Finn behind closed doors to further her own ambitions at the expense of loyalty and genuine familial bonds. In a moment that feels both cathartic and explosive, Lee's physical reaction is raw and unfiltered, a tremor in her voice, a rapid surge of adrenaline evident in her clenched fists and piercing gaze, as she stands before Poppy and, with a mix of seething anger and profound hurt, unleashes a barrage of accusatory words that leave no doubt about her feelings of betrayal and disillusionment, declaring in a single, breathless outcry that the lies, half-truths, and carefully crafted manipulations orchestrated by Poppy have destroyed everything Lee once believed in, and that she can no longer stand idly by as the foundation of trust and honor that once defined their family crumbles under the weight of deception. As the tension in the room becomes almost tangible, every observer in the Forrester inner circle feels the impact of Lee's revelation. The sound of her voice, laden with a mix of despair and defiance, echoes against the marble walls of the estate, drawing a stark contrast with the cool, measured demeanor that Poppy has so long maintained, and exposing for all to see the deep fractures that have developed within a family once thought unbreakable. Meanwhile, the video preview hints at the emotional turmoil that Finn experiences in the wake of this confrontation. Though his role in the recent machinations has been shrouded in ambiguity, the new evidence that Lee has uncovered not only forces him to reckon with the consequences of his own secretive actions but also casts a long shadow over his previously unchallenged authority as a central figure in the Forrester drama, leaving him caught between the duty he feels toward protecting the family legacy and the personal guilt that now threatens to unravel the carefully maintained facade of his public persona. Throughout the preview, the camera lingers on the pained expressions of those watching the confrontation, capturing the subtle shifts in body language, from the hardening of shoulders and the downcast eyes of longtime allies to the furtive glances exchanged by members of the inner circle who are acutely aware that this moment of reckoning may signal the beginning of an era where no secret remains safe and every whispered rumor could trigger a domino effect of retribution and chaos. Indeed, Lee's attack on Poppy is portrayed not merely as a spontaneous act of anger, but as the explosive culmination of years of suppressed emotions, a final, desperate attempt to break free from the shackles of betrayal that have bound her to a system built on manipulation and deceit, and in her eyes, the revelation of Finn's complicity with Poppy is the spark that ignites the fuse of her long-simmering resentment, one that transforms her from a passive observer of family politics into an active, if volatile, agent of change, determined to expose every hidden agenda and force the truth into the unforgiving light of day. As Lee's accusations spill forth with an intensity that seems to shake the very foundations of the mansion, Poppy is forced to confront not only the immediate consequences of her actions but also the broader implications for the entire Forrester dynasty, where trust is the most precious currency and loyalty is the glue that holds together decades of painstakingly built relationships, and her normally impervious calm is shattered by the realization that the meticulously managed narrative of power and respect she has curated is now under siege from within by a woman who refuses to let the sins of the past remain buried. Concurrently, the preview suggests that this explosive confrontation will have reverberations far beyond the personal realm, as the truth about Poppy and Finn's secret dealings, now exposed by Lee's relentless quest for accountability, promises to send shockwaves through the corporate boardrooms and social circles of Forrester Creations, challenging the established order and forcing every key player to re-examine their loyalties, their ambitions, and the cost of maintaining a legacy built on compromised ethics and hidden betrayals. The stakes are laid bare in every charged moment of the preview, as the intense drama, the raw physicality of Lee's reaction, and the unyielding confrontation with Poppy converge to create a spectacle that is as mesmerizing as it is devastating, leaving viewers to wonder whether this moment of explosive honesty will ultimately catalyze a long-overdue reckoning within the family or plunge them further into the depths of internal strife and uncertainty. In the midst of this emotional maelstrom, the narrative weaves together the personal and the professional, the intimate heartbreak of betrayal and the ruthless calculations of corporate power, demonstrating that in the world of the bold and the beautiful, the line between personal vendetta and public scandal is blurred beyond recognition, and that every act of defiance, every outburst of raw emotion, is a step toward a future where the truth, no matter how painful, cannot be suppressed forever. As the preview reaches its climax, Lee's final, searing words hang in the air like an indictment of the status quo, a promise that the long-hidden secrets of the Forrester legacy are now out in the open and that Poppy, along with everyone who has enabled her manipulations, will have to face the consequences of a betrayal that has finally been unmasked, setting the stage for a cascade of events that could forever alter the power dynamics, the alliances, and the very identity of a family empire built on the fragile pillars of trust, ambition, and the unyielding pursuit of truth, a pursuit that, as Lee's attack on Poppy so vividly demonstrates, can sometimes come at the cost of shattering the only illusion of stability that has ever given them hope. Sheila's genuine compassion and Lee's unbridled brutality both serve as mirrors to the shattered spirit of a family business founded on ambition, secrecy, and decades of fiercely guarded allegiances. The episode's tension reached a breaking point when a painful truth about long-standing deceptions and hidden manipulations erupted from within Lee, and her reaction was nothing short of explosive. Lee, who up until this point had maintained a cool, measured facade despite the numerous betrayals and personal slights she endured, finally found herself unable to contain the storm of emotions that had been building beneath the surface in one sweeping, heart-pounding sequence that has captivated viewers with its raw intensity and unexpected twists. Her body revealed her inner turmoil in a moment that seemed to stop time, a series of tremors, a tightening of her jaw, and an uncontrollable outburst of anger that turned her into a force of nature as she launched a violent, almost cathartic attack on those who had wronged her, leaving onlookers in equal parts stunned and sympathetic. The weight of years of bitterness and the agonizing strain of living in a world where trust had been constantly broken by betrayals too many to count reverberated in every one of her violent gestures, every quick, accurate movement, and every guttural howl. It was the culmination of all the silent accusations, the whispered rumors in dark hallways, and the innumerable times she had been made to endure a system that valued power over real human connection. Her physical outburst, raw and unfiltered, was a brutal declaration that the time for quiet suffering was over. Sheila, a matriarch whose quiet strength and profound, compassionate understanding have long been the bedrock of stability amid the chaos, emerged as a striking counterpoint to Lee's destructive release, even though her actions set off a chain reaction of shockwaves that threatened to tear apart the already fragile fabric of Forrester relationships. Whereas Lee's violence was an unbridled outburst of rage, Sheila's empathy showed up as a comforting salve for the scars caused by years of dishonesty and selfish ambition. With a quiet yet resonant voice, Sheila moved forward in the middle of the tempest with a controlled grace. Her words of empathy and consolation cut through the clamor of wrath like a gentle rain removing hardened scorches from a parched landscape. Even when the world looked intent on self-destruction, Sheila showed an almost supernatural ability to feel the sorrow of others and respond with kindness. Her life had been characterized by the twin difficulties of protecting the family history and resolving personal heartache. Her compassionate reaction wasn't a passive acceptance of the mayhem, rather, it was a conscious effort to mend the wounds that Lee's aggression had revealed, wounds caused by both internal strife and external betrayals that had long plagued every Forrester clan member. Sheila's measured intervention acted as a counterbalance to Lee's outburst, which shook the foundations of the family's tightly woven alliances as it echoed through the mansion's opulent halls. It served as a reminder that even in the midst of unbridled anger, there was still room for compassion and redemption. Sheila approached Lee with a tenderness that defied the gravity of the situation in one memorable scene, as Lee's rage-filled screams faded into ragged breaths and the stunned silence that followed hung heavy in the air. She put a gentle hand on Lee's shoulder, her eyes reflecting a deep understanding born from years of personal struggle and triumph over adversity. In that silent exchange, a message was sent that, although the truth could be violent, it need not be without some measure of forgiveness or the hope for renewal. The story of Forrester Creations was irrevocably changed during this week of dramatic upheaval, which was characterized by Lee's physical reactions that ranged from explosive anger to moments of vulnerable remorse and by Sheila's unwavering empathy that sought to bridge the gap between hurt and healing. Each act of violence and every act of kindness served as a microcosm of the larger, eternal struggle between the forces of destruction and the possibilities of redemption in a world where power is often measured not only by wealth but also by the ability to care for others despite the scars of the past. While Sheila's compassionate outreach offered a counter-narrative, a vision of a future where empathy could mend even the most grievous wounds, where the legacy of the Forrester dynasty might be redefined not by the cycles of retribution and pain but by the capacity for growth, understanding, and the transformative power of love, Lee's assault, shocking and seemingly uncontrollable in its fury, was a manifestation of the deep-seated betrayal and abandonment that had festered in her heart. As the week came to an end and the dust settled on the emotionally charged scenes that had taken over the screen, viewers were left to reflect on the profound implications of these two forces colliding, the unbridled, raw violence of Lee's actions contrasted with the tender, healing touch of Sheila's empathy, and how, in a world as cruel and unpredictable as that of the bold and the beautiful, the path to true redemption might not be further conflict and bitterness but rather the courage to embrace the full spectrum of human emotion, to recognize that love and pain are inextricably linked, and that sometimes the most powerful act of defiance is not to lash out in anger but to reach out with compassion even when the scars are deep. The events of this week serve as a poignant reminder that, despite the fact that violence can shatter illusions and force hidden truths into the open, empathy, the quiet, unassuming power of understanding and kindness, has the capacity to mend even the most broken of bonds. This gives hope that the Forrester family's legacy, which is based on the interplay of passion and pain, may yet find a way to evolve into something greater than the sum of its scars, a future in which every act of cruelty is met with a counterbalance of compassion, and where those brave enough to confront the darkness with the unwavering light of their humanity can break the cycle of retribution.